So you're thinking about making your move to the state of Utah. In today's video, I'm talking about all the major areas here in the state of Utah and what you can expect. But if you're new here, my name is Marvin Alvarado, the Sneakerhead Realtor here in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I get calls and messages from people just like you every single day looking to make their move here to the state of Utah. And I love hearing from you guys. So if you're thinking about making the move here in the next 6 days, 6 months, or even a year from now, feel free to give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, do whatever you need to do to get a hold of me. All of my contact information is below. I look forward to hearing from you, and I look forward to making your move to Utah as smooth as possible. Let's jump into the video. So obviously we have the state of Utah here, neighbored by Nevada, Idaho, Wyoming, Colorado, and Arizona. In the state of Utah, there's two major areas that we're going to be focusing on. First, we have the Salt Lake City area, which we call the Wasatch Front, and then we have the St. George area, Cedar City, down in southern Utah. So these are the two major areas here in the state, and then we'll be focusing here mostly on Salt Lake County and the surrounding counties here. But let's start with St. George here real quickly. So St. George, obviously it's down south, southern Utah. Pretty small area, but there's a lot of nice things here in this specific area, just because of you get a lot of the warmer weather here in the summer, and winters. You get snow, but it's not going to be as bad as it is up in northern Utah. And the nice thing about this area as well is that there's a lot of outdoor activities, national parks, and a lot of fun things to do. A lot of people, vacation from, Salt Lake City. They go down during the summer and enjoy the warm weather, and then try to get away during the winter to a little bit more warmer weather here in this area. But let's go up to, Salt Lake County. So from Salt Lake County or Salt Lake City down to St. George, you're probably looking at about a 6-hour drive or so. And then anywhere in between, anywhere from like Provo down to about Cedar City, it's going to be all rural areas. So if you're looking for small town living, not a lot much going on, trying to get away from the city, then this might be an area that you may look forward to living in. Obviously, with it being a rural area, homes are going to be a little bit more affordable, but not a whole lot going on here in this area. Now here in Salt Lake City, we have 4 different counties here. Actually, probably like 6 or 7 if you include Park City and then the Tooele area. But we're going to focus here. Start off with the Weber County area, which includes Ogden. The Ogden area, there's a lot of industrial companies here. You have the Weber University, but over in this area here in the Ogden area, you're going to be able to find homes in the low 300s, maybe in the high 200s for a smaller, older home. But you're also going to be able to find houses that are in the $1 million plus range, especially here over on the bench area close to the mountains. But this is probably going to be, if you're looking for a more affordable home and want to, stay away from Salt Lake City and the southern part of Utah, this is an area you may want to consider. And then once we get a little bit here further south from the Ogden area, we get into Davis County, which we have Farmington, Centerville, Bountiful. And as you can see here, you have the major freeway that goes down is I-15, and then you have the I-89 here that goes up kind of to the east of the Ogden area. But the Davis County is a really popular area as well, just because you're not as far north as you would be in the Ogden area, and you're still fairly close, about 10 to 15 minutes depending on where you're at from downtown Salt Lake City. One of the cool things that this area has to offer is the Lagoon Amusement Park, which is essentially the only amusement park that we have here in the state of Utah. But this is, a really fun activity to do during the summer for families. They have roller coasters, they have a water park, and then just several other rides, for smaller kids. But it's a place you definitely want to check out if you're in this area or just looking for a summer activity, here in the state of Utah. Next up, we have the Salt Lake area, Salt Lake County area. I have another video where we break down everything here in Salt Lake County and kind of go over all the cities here. But Salt Lake County, this is where the Salt Lake International Airport is, and then some of the major cities, the fastest growing cities here in the state of Utah are in Salt Lake County, such as South Jordan, West Jordan, and then the Daybreak community, which is just about 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes from downtown Salt Lake City. And then from Salt Lake City to the west, we have the Tooele area. This is also more of a rural area. You're about 20 to 25 minutes from downtown Salt Lake City, but this is another area where you can find some affordable homes. This is still an area that's growing fairly quickly. We have Stansbury, Tooele, and then Lake Point, which is kind of by the Great Salt Lake. But this is also, like I said, an area that you can find some newer homes in the 400,000 range to 500,000. And because it is still fairly new, you can find a lot of new construction in this area here, and you're not too far from downtown Salt Lake City if that's where you live and you want to be in a more affordable area. Like I said, it's about 20 to 25 minute drive, but it's potentially longer if you are driving during high traffic hours. But then to the east of Salt Lake City and Salt Lake County, we have Park City. So Park City, and then some of the other nearby cities like Camas, Oakley, Heber. This is where a lot of the ski resorts are located here in this area. We have the Park City Mountain Resort, the Canyons, and then we have some of the other ones here like Solitude, Brighton, that are in the mountain range between Park City and Salt Lake County. But this is also a really nice area. We have some really nice homes. These are going to be, obviously higher priced homes just because of the area specifically. But if you're, somebody that's really into the outdoor activities, like skiing in the winter and want to be close to the lakes, to go boating or just do, outdoor activities, this is a nice area for you to be in. But like I said, the prices are going to be on the higher range. You're probably going to be over $1 million for a single family house. You may be able to find some townhomes and condos in the lower range. For the most part, you're going to be higher priced homes. And then in order for you to get to Park City, in the Park City area, obviously you have to go to the Parleys Canyon. And during the winter, it can be a little bit tough to get up here in this area. A lot of the time they're going to require a four-wheel drive vehicle or for you to chain up, especially during winter storms. Unfortunately, it's not the most fun drive during a winter storm, going up that canyon, but it's also a very beautiful area to live up here. But yeah, let's go back to Salt Lake County here. Like I said, this is where you're going to find the major areas from like South Jordan, West Jordan, Taylorsville, really, central here to downtown Salt Lake City. You can get you can get to downtown Salt Lake City from anywhere here in the valley within 20 minutes to 30 minutes, depending on where you're at, especially if you're here farther down south or the west side of Salt Lake County. But once we get a little bit further down, we're going to be able to hit here the point of the mountain, right? This is where you cross over from Salt Lake County over to Utah County. And Utah County has some areas that are growing really fast, especially the Lehigh area here, which is known for the Silicon Slopes. A lot of growing tech companies are moving into this area. There's also a lot of tech companies over here in the Draper area, so that's growing fairly quick as well. But anywhere from here to about American Fork and a little bit of Provo, there's a lot of jobs in tech, and a lot of companies building their headquarters here. So depending on where you work, you may want to look into Utah County or maybe the southern part of Salt Lake County. Like I said, depending on where you're working here. And then over the lake here, the Utah Lake, you'll cross over to the Eagle Mountain area and Saratoga Springs. This is also an area that's growing really fast. you're a little bit further away from everything, and there's a lot of new construction going on. So this is where you're going to be able to also find a lot of more affordable homes versus the Salt Lake County area. Yeah, you're going to be a little bit farther from everything else. So I mean, if you being away from downtown Salt Lake City is something that you're okay with, Eagle Mountain and Saratoga Springs is also a good area to look into. And also, depending on where you're at here in Saratoga Springs, where your home is located, you can get really some awesome views of the Utah Lake. But then we'll head down to the Provo area. This is where the BYU university's at. So if that's something that's important to you, wanting to attend some BYU games, then Provo, Utah is probably an area that you'll want to consider. But I mean, one thing to keep in mind that this area here, you're also going to find some prices that are some homes that are going to be a little bit on the higher end, but doesn't mean you can't find homes that are going to be in the 400 to 500 range. They may not be new construction or anything like that, but just something to consider here in the Provo area. And then we'll head down a little bit further south. We have Springville, Spanish Fork. This is about as far as you'll get before you start getting into rural areas. But this area right here, right, Spanish Fork. If you're okay with being this far from the city, you can find some really nice homes in this area at a more affordable price range. And then over here in the Provo area, you also have some really cool things to do here in the summer. Like the mountain, you can go to the mountains here, hiking, floating down the Provo River is a really fun activity to do. We just actually did that with my family, or with my wife a couple weeks ago, so we had a really good time doing that. And then you also have a couple of ski resorts like Sundance, and then from the Provo Canyon, you have the ability to get up to the Heber area, which will take you up to Park City. So you don't need to, go up to Salt Lake and go up to Pawleys Canyon to get up through there. So you have a shorter way here. But like I said, once you get down here to Spanish Fork, there's not much that's going to be going on here further south unless you get down to the Cedar City area. Everywhere else here, it's going to be really rural areas. Not a whole lot to do. There's the homes are going to be in the more affordable range, but you're going to be really far away from the city. So if that's something that is not really a big deal to you to be far away from the city, then this is an area that you want to consider. A lot of people are moving into these rural areas, especially with them working from home. It's something that people are doing and just kind of getting away from the city. But that's but pretty much the major cities here in Salt Lake County. If you have any questions about it, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. I'm happy to help out any way that I can. But I hope this information is helpful. I know it's just kind of a quick overview, and I'll be doing more videos that drill down to more specific areas like Salt Lake County and Weber and Davis County. But let me know what questions you have. I hope this information is useful. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and then I'll see you on that next one.